goes. Disconnect from the Wi-Fi. I don't know how this song made it to my fucking playlist. This song's awful. Absolutely awful. Much better. How do I remove this weak ass? There we go. What up, everybody? Are we live yet? Yes, we are live. Good evening, y'all. Good evening. Good evening. I would like you to all give a warm welcome to the homie, one of the OGs. This is my buddy Miles, aka Choice. Him and I have been on a fuck ton of psychonautic adventures through the world together, and we go deep on some fucking philosophy and spirituality. He is also a phenomenal musician. We played music together, phenomenal singer, music producer. Choice is his stage name. But yeah, so everybody say what up.
What up, y'all? Glad to be here. Let's get weird.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get weird. Yeah, Miles, feel free to open the video. You can see the. Oh, did you open the video for the questions already? Actually.
Yeah, I got it.
Nice. All right, we're gonna talk about the Hawkins scale, y'all. Not necessarily the person, not necessarily the man himself, but at least the Hawkins scale, because for at least 2 or 3 years now, I've had a quarry with the Hawkins scale. This doesn't make sense. I can't fucking wrap my head around it. And I showed it to my buddy Miles. I was like, "Yo, what do you think?" Because this is what we do. I go, "Yo, what do you think about this? About this?" And then we go back and forth. So we're going to be going back and forth with the Hawkins scale. I'll introduce it. The Hawkins scale is this. The picture you'll probably be most familiar with is an upside down triangle that's a rainbow, and the bottom of the rainbow sucks. The top of it is enlightenment, and there's a whole bunch of things in between. The higher you act, the more enlightened you are.
You should look it up if you don't know what he's talking about, so that way you can have a reference so you can follow along.
That is an even better idea. So I'll pull that up and link it for you guys. So if you're at a computer or on your phone, I just posted the link. So check it out. Open the link and you'll see what the hell we're talking about.
No, if you're on your phone, don't click the link because then you'll close out of this. Unless you got some secret app where you can. Oh, I think if you have YouTube Red or some shit like that, you can.
Oh, you can
play while it's closed. Yeah.
I forgot about that. So they could do that this whole goddamn time. Weren't even homies. Your audio cut out, man. Are you talking right now?
No, I'm not.
Oh shit. I looked at the video screen and I saw your mouth moving, but there's a 20-second delay. It's like, shit, I can't hear you.
So, all right, so let's give these people some time to figure out. I'm actually also I was reading some stuff on it that might give you a better understanding on it too. Let me see what exactly which tab. I have like 100 tabs open. So essentially he had experienced a bunch of life-altering events, they call it, and those are kind of what set him into this like reflective kind of state of mind, like, why am I this way? And he said he noticed a change in his state of consciousness from these experiences. And it kind of, I feel like this article skips a little bit, but essentially it's like he went from an ego-based mind to to a completely overwhelming state of overpowering bliss, which is super cheesy in my opinion. And this is the article that, if you want to see what I'm talking about. And so essentially what he did was he took hundreds of people or whatever, and he would measure their like kinetic energy and just like their muscle vibrations and all that stuff. How you would do, like, I'm guessing with like not an MRI machine, but when they put those little things on your chest.
Those little electro chits, yeah.
Yeah, and so he was doing that, and just through like all the tests he did, that's how he developed the scale. At least that's what I just found out.
Oh.
It's essentially like it's essentially a vibration scale, like in the most scientific way. Not
Okay. That at least lends some credence to it because he's got some sort of physical proof to back up what he's saying. Basically, is where you're getting at.
yeah, because my initial thought was this sounds like a bunch of fucking like come with me and like be one of my 7 wives type of shit. But I mean, if he was actually like in these hospitals, like doing these tests and stuff, then I guess there's some sort of relative or what do you call it?
Corresponding element.
Yeah, there's some sort of like legitimacy to what he's saying because he can prove it. It's
Well,
like before we got on and I was talking about, oh, we should do Stephen Hawkins versus David Hawkins, but
yeah.
Stephen Hawkins was always just talking shit about stuff he doesn't know, and at least this guy is talking.
All the scientists do that, man. All the scientists talk shit about people that don't share their beliefs. It's like the MO of being an established scientist is like, fuck that guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I heard some interviews with some scientists talking about how they can't ever push like new ideas when these ideas are essentially going to change. I can't think of the specific examples, but they'll have a new study and they'll think of something and it'll essentially change what the common laws are.
Yeah.
They'll try and bring it to like the committee or whatever, and they'll be like, nah, we don't want to like pursue that or publish that because it's too different, because it's
or even acknowledge it. Sometimes they won't even like put out an article or some shit like that. Yeah. But here was one of the quorums I had with the fucking Hawkins Scale. So I know he has it backed up, but like from the get go, the two things on the left, there's love at the top and fear at the bottom. And my guess is that love and fear are always supposed to be like opposing forces. But that seems ridiculous because I feel like hate is the opposite of love and courage is the opposite of fear. But people always use fear and love as if they were opposites of each other. So I see shit like that and I'm like, all right, is this something he channeled or he's just using fear and love because every other spiritual person is using fear and love? And it's like, if you want to start breaking it down to the meaning of words to find out they're opposites, you have to be consistent. And like love and hate are opposites, courage and fear are opposites. So I'm like, it was just a wrench, man. It was just fucking something I can't wrap my head around.
Okay, so I know what you're saying. I know where you're getting that from, but I personally think that fear. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the chart right now. I feel like fear is good at the bottom. Like if the whole scale overall is definitely relevant. Like it's all relative. It's all relative to like what he decided. So he'll say like if love is at the top, then fear is at the bottom. Or if he was saying if hot's at the top, then cold's at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. But wouldn't it make more sense to say fear and courage and love and hate?
No, so check this out. This is what those were the ones. Funny enough, those are the ones that I kind of agreed with. So if I'm accepting that this is like accurate in its scaling or whatever, with peace being the highest and fear being on the bottom, I like that because courage does lie in the middle of love and fear. If you think about it, you have
I see what you're saying.
so you have the courage to do something, it's because it's essentially a battle between love and fear, because you're afraid to do it, but you either like love yourself, or you love the cause, or you love somebody that you're fighting for, or whatever. You love them enough to push through the fear, and that's what results in the courage.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. That was a good point.
Like saying it's like say like have the courage to have the courage. I mean, or you could say love or respect, or whatever. It's like have the courage to like admit to your wife when you cheated on her. And so you're like you're afraid to say that because of what might happen, but your love or your respect for her like gives you enough to where it's almost like an equation, like love.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're going from the fear to the courage. So it's you're sliding up the scale from, and your fear turns into courage. Because basically what I'm getting at is that opposites are the same thing but varying to degree. So like you gave the example earlier of hot and cold. So 100 degrees Fahrenheit is hot, 50 is cold to you and I, but to certain bacteria, 50 degrees is hot and 20 degrees is cold, and its happy medium is 30 degrees. And like, so the scale hot and cold is relative completely. um they're the same thing, heat energy, right? So that's how I was looking at fear and courage. They're the same fucking thing. The only difference is courage and fear exist at different points of the fucking spectrum depending upon your perception of it. um like
I know. I guess maybe it's because I'm looking at the way they have the chart has the colors, and the colors blend. You know, like in
mm-hmm.
between. So like where the in between blue and yellow is green. So I was interpreting it as in between love and fear is courage, because it's a blend.
That's what I, when you said that, I was like, yeah, that makes fucking perfect sense then. Because it's even positioned on the paper, the whole screen. It's like in the middle of the whole fucking screen.
right. And so
Um,
if he made it, and I guess this is what I don't know, and maybe somebody listening or watching can say can tell us which way it is, but I thought it was that way. But if it's if it's in the sense of like each one is independent of its own, then yeah, it's a crock of shit.
no, you might have convinced me though, because I'm looking now. If I don't know, man, because like anger, for example, I see videos pop out all the time because spiritual people are like, they always want to spin things. So it's like anger is actually a good thing. Like one of the best. I've actually said it myself. Like anger's it because it is a fucking good thing where your anger motivates you to do something, or your fear motivates you to do something. Like if my child was gonna get hit by a car, I would probably run faster than I've run. And as long as I can remember, like just the overcoming from that fear, it saves my son's life, sort of thing.
Right.
So when I see people like fear is always bad, or like fear is this place that doesn't have much power, and it could be argued that fear has more power, raw power, than almost any other emotion. Period. Like the fear of someone dying is like of your child dying is fucking crazy, and I can't imagine what that would do for your motivation, sort of thing.
That's one of the things that they argue. That's one of the arguments against like living forever, is because at the basic, like one of like our fundamental instinct as beings, let alone humans, is survival, and
Yeah.
that's essentially if the fear of dying. And so that's what like
Yeah.
gets you out of bed in the morning, and like gets you motivated, and pushes you to like be better, whether it's because you want to create for somebody else when you're gone, or if you want to like make your life worth it or whatever. That's at the like, you think about, I don't know, you think about some like 21-year-old girl who's like, I just want to be happy and live and blah 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 blah. Maybe she's like super peaceful and only gives out peace, but you could argue at the base of those emotions is the fear of dying, or at least like the awareness, the like, I don't know what's gonna happen after this, or this is all I got, or whatever. But that all smells and tastes like fear.
Well, this is what fucked me up, dude. I had this thought a couple years ago where um, it's like my late 20s, mid to late 20s. I'm sure everyone goes through this where they just want to travel. Like they don't want to be tied down. They want to experience like the whole world. Like you're young, like experience, go live it up, like find yourself out there. And so people like I found myself driven to do all these crazy things, but it was like the fear of putting roots in the ground, or like the fear of being trapped is why I wanted to escape. The fear of like not being able, FOMO was why I wanted to go to France, not because I wanted to go to France, but it was like, oh, what if like I die and I don't go to all these places, sort of thing, you know, like I don't do all these things that people are supposed to do when they're mid-20s. And it's almost like you're a slave to excitement. Like fucking Terrence always says, like, don't give in to astonishment, kind of thing.
Yeah. And if you think about on the other end of that, and you take like the cliche example of somebody who is unaffected by emotions, being like, who are they? What are they doing? Those are fucking monks. They're literally just sitting under a tree with their eyes closed forever because they're fearless, detached, or whatever.
So is that good or bad?
I mean, I guess it's subjective. Do you want to experience shit, or do you want to just be in existence?
Damn. Yeah.
Do you want to play on the fucking playground, or do you want to just like sit in the sandbox with your eyes closed?
Damn.
And even then, though, like I feel like you've told me this, that the monks are like, yeah, I have vices. Anybody who doesn't have vices isn't living.
Oh, yeah, it's not, it's fucking, I get that from, who always talks about that? Alan Watts. That's his big thing. Is like, his analogy is always, soup isn't good unless you add some salt to it. Otherwise, it's just fucking stale and plain. He's like, that salt, that little bit of bitterness that people have in themselves is like what makes them them. Is why they're interesting and like.
Right. Or like spice. It's the same way you could say it with spice.
Yeah. We even say that to people, like, damn, like she's spicy, man. Like, fuck, she got a little, it's like, fuck, she's spicy, huh?
Or what about like even with Alan Watts, like why do you think he's going out and like giving all these lectures and trying to help people bring them to the light, so to speak? And you could argue that is rooted in him, like afraid that people are going to be like, he doesn't want them to be lost or tortured or depressed or whatever. So he's
well, check this. I think you were more onto it than you think, because he was an alcoholic, and people who are alcoholics generally aren't super happy people, you know what I mean? They have demons and like they've gone through some shit. So he could be like saving himself from the demons and saving other people, kind of thing.
Yeah, like you ever notice on like Instagram, you know somebody and they post and like you kind of know them to be like depressed or whatever.
Yeah.
But you always see them posting like motivational shit.
Yeah.
And in my head, I see it and I'm like, oh, you're just like telling yourself that out loud on Instagram right now. And maybe that's what Alan Watts is doing. He's doing all these lectures and
damn
shit. Kind of fucking, he's still trying to tell himself that shit.
Oh man, I do that. Find myself doing that a lot, for sure.
I do that too. Thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. I'm just saying that we all got that. We all got that fucking, maybe it comes with the awareness of being a human, because you think about a dog, the only time, like, they're never scared. They fucking, you know, they'll bite a cord and shit out of themselves, and they'll do it again, you know, because they don't get it. They're not like they're not
they can't think, dude. Humans overthink shit.
Right. So they can't act like in awareness.
They're pure, yeah. Animals are that they same with the humans. That's what happens when humans get into the animal side. It's pure action, no thought. It's like pure, and it's not. I think that's what the human to me is supposed to be, is that perfect blend of like emotion and reason, emotion and thought. Just bringing them both together so you don't turn into the fucking dog that bites the wire 6 times before he gets it straight.
Exactly. And that's why I think this fucking chart is bullshit because when when you look at it, you think, oh, I just like to get to ultimate consciousness, I have to be perfectly at peace or perfectly like joyful. I can't have any of the shit below acceptance or neutrality. I can't have anything below, because if it's a blend, then it's like you can't have courage because that means you have fear. If you can't have neutrality because that has apathy, you know.
So yeah, that's basically, you're saying exactly. All those things have opposites, and they are the same thing as their opposite to varying degree. So it's like they're all over the place. It's like, well, you can't have courage without fear. Like you can't have love without hate. Like to have, as soon as you turn on a light bulb, you cast a shadow somewhere. You know what I mean? You can't have one thing without its opposite. Like they define each other. So to like randomly put things on a scale, which doesn't make sense to begin with, too, because it's like, in a straight line, that's the only way it works. Like there's never a time where you can use fear and get to enlightenment, or like, is it always going to bring you down? I don't know. It doesn't, life doesn't seem to be linear ever. So
Yeah.
it's weird that something this grand and this like all inclusive would be like a linear scale of these basic human emotions, you know?
And I mean, I still don't know that much about it. I'm just going off instinct right now. So
well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's why I was going to say that earlier. It's good to do that because this scale is 9 times out of 10 what people see as far as this. So they're not going to look any deeper into it, but have the thoughts that you and I are having. Actually, no, I think they would just take it verbatim. I don't think they would even question it for the most part. They're like, oh, he's a doctor. Like, that sounds good. He wrote a book. He's a doctor, you know?
Or even more likely is they just fucking see somebody post it on Facebook and then they just take it as the Bible. They don't even question where it came from or anything like that.
For real though, dude, like absolutely, that shit happens like everywhere. It's not just like everything's propaganda. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, like
Bro,
magazines.
I just saw this shit on Canada's coronavirus stimulus plan. And so my instinct is to just like go to Google and like actually find credible sources. If it's like something with the government, like a government bill, I'll try and find like the .gov or whatever. But the first thing that pops up on Google is some article on like NBC News about how social media is completely like and utterly misrepresenting their actual bill. And they start showing people's like screenshots of like Facebook posts and Twitter and all that shit. And at this time, I had already been on like Canada's like government website. You could see the actual bill that was passed and like who signed it and everything, all the details. And they get like $2,000 a month for 4 months. But then when you go to the Facebook post and shit, people are like, oh my God, they're getting $950 a day and like all this stupid shit to the point where you're like, hold on, is this a real person? Like a propaganda bot? Because you're like, where did you get that information? Like, it's like, did you just see that in another post? Because if you just saw that and just blindly retweeted it, then when I said propaganda bot, I meant like a Russian fucking bot farm that they got going on. But
yeah.
The same sense, if you're just blindly reposting shit, like and attaching your emotions to it, then you're no different than one of those fucking bots.
You are a bot. If you're doing things without consciously doing them, or at least you might as well be a bot if you're unconsciously going through life. Fact.
Straight up, because it's like no different than when they type in like what they want their bot farm to do, and then you see that bot is telling you what to do, and then you do it, and now you're no fucking different.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say something I fucking forgot, but damn it, I lost it. Lost it.
It'll probably come back around.
It'll come back around. Anywho, yes, I'm drinking a Corona. We got my fucking bro. Speaking about programming bots, my brother's. Oh, you know my brother Miles. He's a fucking always been a salesman, and he's fucking still a salesman. What up? I was just about to tell a story about you right now. He he was schmoozing with the lady at the liquor store and got us a discounted box of Corona because of the coronavirus.
Damn. Bro, it took a hit. I was reading the article about that shit. Corona took a hit, like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh,
When this shit first popped off, they just their sales just dropped because no one wanted to fucking get coronavirus.
how fucking oh my god, how ridiculous is that, dude? For people to be like, because you know that they don't. They're like, just in case. Like, oh, I know that's not. It's not the beer, obviously, but just in case. It's like, what the fuck? A beer from Mexico, like.
Yeah, man. People fucking kill me with that shit.
That's the type of fear that's not that we can put that one on Hawkins low scale of fear.
And somebody just asked, is fear healthy or just negative? And I think it's like half what you said and it's half yes, half no, because it's like you have to be able to use it the right way. Like I don't know if anybody saw the new season of Ozark, but it's fucking fire.
Ooh, I haven't. I had the whole thing to watch actually.
You know that? Oh, you haven't seen any of it?
I saw like the first 3 episodes a couple years ago, and I loved them, but for reasons I just didn't finish it. But I'm ready to get back on that train.
So I don't know I don't know where you got, but there's this lady or there's this couple from the Ozark, Missouri Ozark, like straight hick, like the hick of the hick. And there's this couple who they've just been like family. Their lineage has been like Ozark royalty. They were running shit. And the husband and wife run a heroin poppy farm.
Uh-huh.
And the wife is the dude is like OG, like the classic stoic. Like you could, when he speaks, it sounds like he had been thinking what he was about to say for like 5 minutes. And then the wife is like, she's the opposite, because she's on the same level. She's like fucking hair trigger. Just she stabs people in the throat on the spot, like at the farmer's market type shit. but she drops. This is a long story, but I'm coming back around. She's wild and she's super hick, but she drops bombs. Like she's got one-liners.
Yeah, that's my favorite characters, man. That all they do is just come in with the heat and then leave. Yeah.
She drops these, so she does all this like she does wacky shit. Like she asked the chief of police to have his officers start selling heroin, and he'll be like, what the fuck? And he'll hit her with a reason why he's not going to. And then she'll just drop this like metaphorical line that the guy will just be like, oh, fuck. But the one that I was thinking of with, in response to Homeboy's question, she was talking to this boy whose best friend killed his father. And so he's all sad and shit. And she was like, I see the pain in you. She was like, we all got pain, but there's 2 types of pain: the pain that you use and the pain that uses you.
Ooh.
Yeah, just one of those bars. And so that essentially hopefully answers Homeboy's question, because that's the same, like just pain in general. All of those emotions in the suffering category of this thing are like fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame. Those are all essentially just pain. You can wrap it up.
That made me think of something too. Like, as you're spiraling up, wouldn't you come back to each of these emotions over and over and over again, all the way to the top? Like, when are you ever going to completely get rid of fear? Like, you're just gonna meet the next version of it. You know what I mean?
Somebody who's a Solavi, she said something like that, because we fluctuate.
Yeah, feel enlightenment wall. Yeah, exactly. That's why that was one of the main criticisms I had of the Hawkins scale, was that it had this sort of linear start to finish. This is bad, and I've had conversations with people who are on this line of thought, and they're like, nope, doesn't matter. It's always bad. Like there's always an opportunity to like be calm and peaceful and like loving in any situation. And it's like,
Fuck you.
it's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard. Like it's like I want to believe that, but at the same time, it's like it's just gonna vary, you know. Like I was a kid, I was afraid to go on roller coasters, and like it was a courageous thing for me to go on a roller coaster. But now it's not. It's no longer courageous because I don't fear it. The only way we have a chance to be courageous is if fear is present. So it's like that's what I'm like. Well, you can't just completely negate something without negating both sides. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, and you need to. It's like trying to say that all these are bad. It should only be peace. Everything can be handled with love, and it's like that would be the case if it was if the other ones didn't exist. So like with what's her name, Emily Warren, they were pressing her on the news, telling her because she was like pushing, she was preaching that candidates shouldn't have super PACs, like they shouldn't have big private funding because that's how the corruption's involved. And the guy's like, okay, if you're telling everyone to do this, why don't you do it? And she was like, well, I will as soon as everyone else does it. But that's that same kind of thing. It's like you can't be doing one if you're trying to compete or you're trying to like.
All right. So then, with that said, devil's advocate, is it just going to take a unanimous, simultaneous 5-gram heroic dose of Terrence McKenna pizza toppings for everyone to pull the trigger at the same exact time?
I would love that, but I don't think that it would even. I think people might be more compassionate and shit, but I don't think that we should get rid of that. You know, like shit will get boring. Like a utopia of perfectness would
Well,
get.
I think that's why. I think that's the message behind all these utopia books is like it everything once something reaches its apex, it has nowhere else to go but the other direction. It's just going back and forth like rhythm, just fucking music, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right. And it's like if you look at that same kind of thing you're saying as like a pendulum swing, if peace is on this side and it goes fucking all the way up here to perfect peace, when that shit fucking lets go, it's gonna swing all the way back around, and it's gonna
same fucking
and the darkness is gonna get even hard. It's gonna be equally as intense as it was.
So everybody choices on that Hermetic philosophy as well too. You just described verbatim one of the principles of Hermeticism. There's polarity and there's rhythm. Polarity says there's always an opposite to a thing, and rhythm says energy will always flow between opposites, and you can't stop the swing, but you can rise above the swing and like sort of rise above it as it swings below you. But also that it compensates, just like rhythm compensates. The side on the left is going to be equal to the side on the right, like give or take 1 or 2, you know?
Yeah, man, it's crazy because you can connect that kind of shit to everything.
Fucking can. That's why it's a fucking principle of life, dude. That's why I base everything off that Hermetic. That's what I wrote the book on. Miles was actually there, you guys. My book, 7 Pillars. A bunch of you guys have reached out to me, by the way. I'm glad you guys are liking the book. And thanks for the dope fucking reviews on Amazon. I appreciate that too.
Nice.
Anywho, Miles and I lived together when I wrote that book. Pretty much the entire book. I was just fucking, that was when we were balls deep in all our Kundalini. Remember that when I went Kundalini? I'm talking, my bad.
Yeah,
Kundalini, I was talking to a fucking Kundalini girl. She slays. She's out in Canada, but she came on the live. I was like, yeah, I was doing these Sata Namas, and like after a couple of weeks, I could hear like my roommate was in the room doing the Sata Ma fucking Kundalinis, just spreading the Kundalini vibe.
Yo, I wonder what would happen because I remember you telling me you were fucking getting some crazy ass peaks when you were doing that shit.
Yeah, dude.
I wonder what would happen if like those two were doing it and that like they were just both doing it in their own room at the same time, and then fucking they both just peak at the same time. I wonder what that would be like.
Wait, 2 different people? What are you talking about?
Like if they were both doing the like some
Who's
chakra
who's they? Who are you talking about though?
these. Oh, was it you who you were talking about? Wait,
Oh, I was on a live with the Kundalini teacher, and I was telling her the story about you. I was just telling the people on the channel that
oh,
it was you that I was telling that story about, where I fucking me and the roommates were doing Kundalini yoga in our rooms.
yeah, that never happened. But no, that's why I was curious though. If it was like everyone just peaks at the same time, everyone just hits that fucking orgasm or
Oh,
whatever, or
yeah,
that
yeah. I see what you're saying,
and just transcends.
man. It's happening. The Bay, the Bay legalized. Colorado, I think Washington. They're all letting psychedelics through, man.
I mean, that's where fear is becomes a negative thing, because the reason why a lot of these things, obviously this is a cliche example or cliche like conspiracy, but the reason why a lot of these things are illegal is because of fear of like loss of control or whatever you want to call it. So like with weed, with the dude who banned cannabis, it was because he was afraid of his company getting beat out by the hemp companies. And
Oh, what's his name?
then
Hurst.
and then with and then with the psychedelics and shit, they were testing them on people to see like what happens. And they ultimately realized, like, sure, there were situations like where people became psychotic, but I choose to believe that they realize that when people take these psychedelics, they have loss of authority, and they don't give a shit about like your rules. They're the whole like the mentality is, who the fuck are you to tell me I can, like, why do you make the rules kind of thing. And obviously you can't have that if you're the powers that be telling people that they have to go to their job every day and pay this utility bill, and then pay all these fucking taxes, pay 18 different types of taxes simultaneously your whole life.
Son of a bitch. What? My bad.
Somebody said something about the good play. Oh, Solavi is killing it, but
Yeah.
she
Is
brought
it
up
Solavi or is it Salavi? I've been saying Salavi. Could you correct me? Salavi? Yeah, she's been holding it down for quite some time.
I was saying Solavi because I'm thinking of C'est La Vie, I think.
Oh, nice. Or
But
he. I'm sorry.
if you haven't seen The Good Place, it's dude, that is another dope ass show. It's
I
like,
have seen it. I know. I saw her comment. I didn't want to cut you off, but that's exactly it. If there's one fucking lesson in that show, it's there's no such thing as perfection.
yo, that show is dope. And they turn. Do you see the fourth season?
No, I think I saw the first three though, and they killed it.
Oh, see, that's where they finally get to their message in the fourth season.
Ah,
Yeah, they finally, like, the whole time. I know what you're saying, like, and that's what I was thinking too. But I feel like that all the stuff that all the message that you thought it was is like more leading
I
up
gotta
to
watch it
the
now,
fucking.
man.
Yeah, dope. It's wild. It's like when you, because they go to heaven and they get to heaven,
Oh, nice.
and and it's fucking. You have. I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, don't give it away because I like that show. It was fun. It's super funny too.
And they present heaven in a way where it's not like, it's not cheesy, it's not trying too hard, but it's also like not underwhelming.
Yeah,
So you're like it's satisfying the way they portray it.
dope. All right, I'm gonna check it out. I've been actually itching to find something new on Netflix too.
Dude, I've been watching just Good Place and Ozark.
That's a lot
Completely.
of material.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Oh,
Actually, I don't think The Good Place is on Netflix yet. The fourth season. You have to check that shit out
really?
on
The
Discord.
the other ones are for sure. That's where I watched them.
Yeah, but you know how Netflix is with the TV, with like shows that are on TV. It takes them like a year to get the
Oh,
newest season.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Damn, maybe it might be then.
Yeah, it's whack. It's obviously some sort of like contract shit, but
Yeah. Weak. Um. Yeah. So, does anybody have any questions in the thing? In the
yeah,
live.
I've been waiting for somebody to contradict me or challenge you or something.
We've basically been on spot. It's funny, dude, because I do videos where I'll present something contrast to the popular opinion. I'll be like, damn, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'll finally release it. Everyone's like, yeah, man, I've been thinking the same thing. So it's like, maybe it just has to be said. I don't know. Because most people, like I said, most people here are like, it's hard to find a message that's truly, even myself, like I hit you up like, you're like, what can I talk about for good video ideas? And it's like, it's not easy to find a brand new idea. Like it's almost
Trust
impossible.
me, bro. I know. I hit you with all these ideas, hit you with like 10 ideas a week at a fire. But then I'm sitting here like trying to think of my own. I'm like, it's like trying to look at it's like trying to look at myself without a mirror, you know?
Right.
When I look at you, it's so clear and I'm like, yeah, this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
And then when I try to look at myself, I'm like, what the fuck? But
You know why, right? It's because teeth can't bite themselves.
exactly.
And and light can't see itself.
Exactly. That's what you were saying about it's funny that like your whole channel and you try to bring up this shit and people are like, yeah.
I know.
That's what my whole music project is about. Choice is like I have like two uh like I don't know, like punchlines or whatever, like taglines. And the one is thoughts we don't say out loud. And it's
Yeah.
all about that. It took me a while to get to that because, like I was saying, I can't. It's hard to fucking think of these things yourself, and so I essentially just was like, okay, well, who am I, and like, how can I like amplify this project as my own thing, uh, and like have it resonate with people, like be so intense that it resonates like in a polarizing way, but it's still me, and I'm not being a character, like I'm not being like a gangster rapper or like some
Yeah.
kid, so I can feel comfortable. Like if somebody walks up to me in the street, they're not gonna be like, oh, like he's different than what I thought he was, because it's still gonna be me. And
Yeah.
that was like one of the biggest things um, that brought me to this. Like that part about me is like saying shit that other people won't say, because I do that shit on the daily, for better or for worse, making enemies and friends. But it's like I know, sure, there's plenty of times where I'm wrong or like I'm speaking out of my ass, but most of the time I'm fucking spot on.
You know, the funny thing is on par with your what you said about the pendulums matching the swing on both sides. Um, when you do start speaking out, and you're saying you'll make enemies and you'll make friends, is the enemies will become more enemies, but the friends will become more friends. Like the homies will be the absolute true homies, while the haters will most likely be the fucking true haters, because everyone knows exactly who you are and how you roll, so that they can make up their mind on you.
Yeah, bro, it's a polarizing. I that's what I always call it, is that polarizing personality.
Yeah.
So you like you look at that dude, that Tiger King or whatever, he was
Uh-huh.
so intensely him that people were like the fucking that Asian chick, fucking Tiger bit her arm off.
Oh
And,
yeah, that's the
and
only part I saw that show. My brother's all about it right now.
bro, that's when it hit me. I'm like, yo, this dude's got a fucking cult, because that chick, the doctors are like, we can fix your arm, but it's gonna take 2 years of reconstruction. And she was like, oh no, fuck it. I'm just gonna have it chopped off so I can go back to work so I
Fucking
can save
crazy is that, dude?
Joe's fucking company. And it's like, what the
And
fuck?
she
Fuck
was
Joe.
proud. She was proud. She was all from that whole thing from start to finish. 5 days.
Yeah.
5 days she got attacked by a tiger. Her arm was mangled. Then she found out her arm had to be No, she chose to have her arm cut off and then
Option.
back to work. I was like, what?
Yeah, I feel like I chalk
Fuck.
that up. I mean, he found people who are it's like the Joker, and he found he would prey on people with like mental vulnerabilities,
Huh.
so he could bring them in. He can hook them in as like mental slaves. I feel like those are the kind of people that homeboy attracted to, like people who were lost or whatever, and he would bring them in. But so sure, that was like the who they are, and that those are like his prey. But because of his personality being so intense, that he would just hypnotize them.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, he had fucking thousands and thousands of people online that were actively, they were, I don't know if you saw the part, that one Carol bitch she was hiring people to follow him around the country on his like live zoo tour, follow him around the country to find out where he's going next to stop him. Like that's how the pendulum swung to the other side
Damn.
with against him.
Yeah. That's why you see some of the craziest what do they call them? Crimes out of passion. They call it crimes out of passion. Is that the term for it? Where people just like find out their lovers cheating on them when they just murder everyone in the room.
Yeah.
It's the perfect way that I always describe love and hate. That's why one of the examples I use of them being opposites, because your capacity to hate someone, not always, but is usually dependent upon how much you care about them or their like philosophies. Like someone you follow your whole life, if you find out they're a crook, you're gonna be like, fuck that guy. Like I looked up to you my whole life. But if someone you don't know went from saint to demon and you didn't know him, like, wow, you wouldn't fucking care. It's the same thing. If your lover cheats on you after a week, like whatever, I just met him. Cheats on you after 2 kids and a marriage, like, and you're invested, like there's that much more hatred towards the person. I always tie it up.
And that's why I don't agree with this. That's another reason why I don't agree with this chart, because if in the middle of those things is neutrality, or which sounds to me like indifference, then that's what you just described.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that's a mix between love and hate.
Not at all.
So then that's why I was like, oh, maybe it is. Maybe this scale or this spectrum isn't a blend. It's its own individual things.
That's what I think. Yeah, for sure. It's got to be its own individual thing.
Yeah.
In each circumstance.
This thing is it. He probably fucking thought of this, thinking that he probably published this thinking this was gonna be his fucking $1 million idea.
It was, dude. everyone who's fucking I've ever seen this scale is all about it, and I've seen it from like 4 or 5 different substantial YouTubers, and outside of that, psychologists. I've seen it a lot, but I couldn't fucking wrap my head around it. I haven't, and it wasn't until the past like 48 hours it came up a couple times out of nowhere, and I was like, all right, like let's see what the fuck's going on with this thing. Like I gotta dive into it, and it still doesn't make sense to me though.
Yeah, because it's not accurately explained on like the whole part of it that we're trying to figure out, because that's a huge aspect of it that would like really help you understand what the hell it is. Like, is it its own? Are these emotions independent, or are they like in relation to the other ones?
Yeah. Also, I'm curious where he got the numbers from, if it relates to maybe the hertz that the people were putting off during the tests that he was giving. But it's like enlightenment seems to be this infinite thing, and for it to start at 700 is just strange.
Enlightenment to me, yeah, like what the hell
is that was so we have all of infinity to work with, but when we hit 700, that's it.
I'm looking at one that caps at 1,000. So enlightenment is 700 to 1,000.
Okay, there you go.
You don't get past 1,000.
All right, that's good. That's better that's another 30%.
Fucking nah, that's fucking. And I feel, to me, enlightenment is more about like intense awareness, like complete awareness.
Yeah.
and that would mean understanding your own feelings. Like, you know that you're mad right now, and you decide, you choice how you want to like make your next move. Do you want to act in a crime of passion? Do you want to act out of fear? Or are you going to just be like, okay, I'm fucking pissed right now. I could either stab everybody in this room, or, which isn't going to help anything, or I can move. You know, it's like like if you're negotiating, and you know homeboy is just, or homegirl is just like ticking every box that normally pisses you off. If you're enlightened, you'd be you'd be strong enough to not let those emotions that you're feeling affect like what you want to do.
Do you that makes me think of the Bible. I don't know how much of the Bible you read or the stories you know, but Jesus got hella pissed one day when he went to wasn't the market, I believe it was, or no, it was the market, and he basically saw how, well, Jesus was Jewish, so we saw the Jews and how they handled their money and how selfish they were being, and he lost his shit. It's like started screaming at everybody, probably cussing, like they don't say. You don't get much of what actually happened. Throwing tables over and shit, just getting hella pissed. So people call Jesus enlightened. Whether you don't even believe in Christianity, people are like, oh, it's the Christ. They call it the Christ consciousness, which represents Jesus Christ. Where was I?
Maybe maybe if you were to accept that he was enlightened, maybe the enlightenment is like and also building off what I was just saying, is like knowing the emotions that you're feeling, and when you choose if you want to like act on those emotions, but the ultimate enlightenment is knowing when to use them, knowing when to let fear dictate, knowing when to let anger dictate, knowing when to, like, if you're horny as fuck at the office, you don't slap your secretary's ass. But if you're single and she's been hitting at, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or like you're horny as fuck and you're like nervous at the bar to talk to a girl, and you're like, fuck that, I'm using this emotion to.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So basically, I'm going off the scale and saying weak sauce.
Yeah.
It's like any of these, any and none of them, I would say, leads to enlightenment. Any and none. I'm a firm believer in the infiniteness of consciousness and the not being able to quite name what is the absolute truth. It's that unnameable thing.
Absolute truth being like omnipotent, or like
the thing from which all things come from. The OG, God. But you can't use God because God is a definition, and this thing fucking can't be defined. There's no way you can define something that's infinite. Even calling it infinite is like coming short of what it actually is, because infinite infers time, and this thing is outside of time, so it's not fucking infinite either.
Yeah, it's beyond. It's beyond. Have you seen? I keep making movie references, making me realize
fine.
and how many movies I've watched. But have you seen Dogma?
No. Maybe actually. What's it about?
It's like his 2000s movie. The guy that Silent Bob from.
Oh no, I haven't seen it. I wouldn't remember that.
So it's like, what's their names? Matt Damon and some other dude. They're archangels like Gabriel and somebody else, and they came down to Earth to like essentially.
Oh, I did see that movie a long ass time ago. The brunette girl's in it.
Yeah, Janet, Alanis Morissette. So that's the point I was saying. So she had this dude who spoke on behalf of her. And the chick that was in it, like the human, like the chosen one or whatever, was like, why doesn't God just talk for herself? And the guy was like, if God spoke to you, if God made a sound to you, your head would explode. Like, and then like at the end, she says something to one of the angels, and his fucking head explodes. Like you can't fucking fathom.
Yeah,
It's beyond going. It's like beyond going insane, beyond like losing your mind or like bloody eyes. It's so intense
bloody eyes.
that your fucking head explodes. That's how that I feel like that's the scale of like trying to imagine what that ultimate. That's where it's at.
Oh man, that's funny. That movie's called Dogma too, because the definition of dogma is something that you take to believe without looking into it yourself. Like religious dogma, even science is a dogma, and that's been proven at least 5-6 times a century for the past 500 years.
Fucking Facebook's a dogma.
Facebook,
Social media is a dogma.
social media is probably the most prevalent and dominating dogma, actually.
Damn, bro. Wait, so what's the difference between dogma and religion then?
The super sticklers might argue nothing. That the whole point of religion is to just believe something on pure faith alone, which is what dogma is. Dogma is just having faith in something, but it's a negative term for it, in that like you believe things that aren't true, and you believe them, you have faith in them, you preach it to the world, but you haven't actually looked into whether it's true or not. That's what dogma is. So I guess by definition, you can't, like, all religion is dogmatic because you can't really.
Right. Christianity.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But the early Christians, they were called Gnostics. And that's whenever you hear Gnosticism is referring to the very first Christians after Jesus were the Gnostics. And they preached what Jesus preached, which was all about the self. Like all God is inside. Stop looking out there. It's not out there. He's in you. Like love, this and that. And then 400, 500 AD, the official Catholic Church put God outside of the person and not inside of the person. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing from day one has been like scrap dogma, like stop going. It's like cut out the middleman. Basically, that's what he did. Jesus was like, fucking cut out the middleman, dude. It's not useful.
Yeah. He didn't even, did he ever say that he was Jewish or whatever? Because that was like the big thing. It was like, oh, Jesus was Jewish.
Well, he was Jewish for sure. There was no such thing as Christianity when he was born.
But you were just saying that he was like, fuck all that shit.
Oh, like, did he ever denounce his religion?
Or he was, yeah.
I don't know.
Like, just talk to God. You don't need to pay the priest your last gold coin every night just to make sure you go to heaven.
I don't know the exact quotes, but yeah, he did. One of the ones I can remember is like the kingdom of God. I can't remember verbatim. There's a few passages where he specifically says it's inside of you, but I don't know of anything where he's like, stop going to the priests. Ask someone here know the answer to that. It's been a while. So I went to Catholic school growing up, so I read it a bit, but I don't fucking remember too much.
You know what? Going back to this scale, Solavi once again just reminded me of something. Oh, by the way, you asked her how to pronounce her name, and yeah. she types soul or so dash la dash v, and it's like, well,
I know. I saw that too. I was like,
it still don't help. But
Solavi.
No. Well, maybe. So what I fuck with and feel like is more accurate with something like this is how these emotions being correlated to like the high vibration, low vibration kind of thing, and like attracts like kind of thing. So, and that's spread across fucking all kinds of like whether it's religion or spirituality. Everybody's talking about it. Like even the pickup artists on YouTube talk about like being in a low frequency at the bar, like being anxious and nervous and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, people feel it. Like that, you go up to a girl and you're in a low vibration, she's going to be like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
And you go over there in like in your high vibration, and you're confident, you're happy, you're not trying like you don't need to get with her, you're just having a great time, you're in that high frequency, then she's like, yo, I want to fucking hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
Bashar fucking talks about the frequencies all the time too.
Bashar's about to be on Gaia. I just saw an ad for that today on YouTube.
What was that?
Gaia, you know what Gaia is?
Nah.
Gaia, it's called Gaia TV and it's Netflix, but occult Netflix. So fucking imagine Bashar, imagine ancient Egypt, imagine Kundalini, imagine fucking UFOs, conspiracies, Hollow Earth, like all of it, dude. All of that whole world under one umbrella.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that makes more sense to me though, because you think about when you're in a fearful state, you feel, or when you're feeling like depressed or unsure, you feel like cloudy and groggy and slow, and it feels like a low vibration. But then when you're like on cloud nine and everything makes sense and everything's clicking, it just feels at like a higher vibration. And then when you come around somebody who's at like shitty, it feels, that's probably where the fucking saying comes from. It's like, you're pulling me down.
Yeah, for sure.
Like your
personalities are contagious, man.
You're pulling me down the spectrum. You're pulling me down the scale. That's the kind of that's what I would support. If Homeboy was trying to say that, I would be on his wagon.
Damn it, Hawkins. Well, I think we just fucking dissected. I'm curious how you guys have felt looking at the Hawkins spectrum. I think it was Aaron Dottie put up the most recent one, and he actually made a video where he was surprisingly hating on it too. But to be fair, he was like, I changed my mind. I think he started the video with Hawkins Scale. I changed my mind, and he made some alterations too, which I agreed with the alterations, because it was like, yeah, man, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm not the only ones.
Yeah, man, because you got to use them like maybe in it's like kind of right. If you take like Superman's story, how he was like 7 years old and he could lift a fucking building off the ground, but he was scared and he was fearful and all that shit because everyone was picking on him and he was different or whatever. And it took him whatever events happened, it took him having to push through those negative emotions or those low frequency feelings. He had to push through those to get to his like enlightenment, to where he was just fucking completely unbeatable.
You know, I saw a cool write-up on Superman that said he was one of the only superheroes that was not super when he was average. Like Peter Parker was a successful journalist, and Batman was fucking Bruce Wayne. I don't know all the superheroes, but Superman was the exact opposite. He was the greatest superhero, but he was actually weak in person and frail and wore glasses. He couldn't even fucking see well. Like Superman couldn't like wore glasses. You know what I'm saying?
I think the glasses was like his fake mustache type shit.
Right? Yeah.
You fucking see through walls.
He's got X-ray vision.
I think he chose to be an average person because he was already like, I can fucking do anything I want. And I can literally do anything I want. I can be whoever I want, but I gotta keep it low. Like I just want the simple thing, like where he was raised in the farm. He's like, I just want the simple thing. It'll keep me a low profile.
But remember how we were saying about contrast and like opposites and shit happening, being the spice of life? What if that's, because I always say what makes a really good fucking story is when you utilize those little principles, like you make those swings in your stories and whatnot. So what if that's what they were doing when they wrote it? Like, well, Superman is Superman, so we'll make him fucking a weakling to give that interesting swing of a character development. Or like Bruce Wayne, he's like, the bat is super hidden and he's in darkness and no one knows. He's completely emotionless, like this mysterious figure, but he's also Bruce Wayne, the most fucking substantial human in all of
Right.
Gotham City.
All the chicks want him.
All the
Everything.
chicks want him. Everyone wants to be his business partner.
He was everything that people think if they achieve, they'll be happy. So he was like,
Yeah, damn, and he was super emo too.
but he was the most emo mother. Yo, there's this theory. I think I saw it on Reddit. It's just so badass. There was this theory that Joker, because Joker was like his number one like arch enemy, and there was a theory that Joker was the hero because Batman was essentially just this wild tyrant who was going through and just fucking people up for nothing. And
in business?
No, Batman was like in the dark. He was so extreme with his justice that it was it started welcoming more criminal. Like it started welcoming. So he's a superhero. It started welcoming super villains. Like
That's Glass right there, ain't it?
The movie Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's badass. I feel like they fucking wrote that based off like these kind of ideas.
Dude, that was the whole moral, was like, we got to kill you guys because the good ones are bringing the bad. But she said the same. That's what I'm saying, dog. That's why I'm sold that these things are fucking rooted in reality, because that was exactly what they said in the movie. We can't have the good guys that are really strong because you make really strong bad guys. You guys are fucking the whole world up. So we got to kill all of you bastards so that, it stays chill.
It's like there was only 5 of you fighting in the middle of New York City, but you cost $8 trillion in damage.
Yeah.
You're good without both of you.
Damn. I wonder if like all the writers know that with DC and Marvel and whatnot, and that's like an underlying issue that you have to pick apart with all the superheroes, is they know that by their mere existence they're causing people to die.
Yeah, they in the new Marvel and DC movies, they address it. Like in the Superman ones, in the Batman Superman, they straight up, like Batman straight up says he tries to kill Superman because of that exact reason. And
really?
Yeah, and then they have like a montage of like news interviews where all these people are like, why is he here? He's fucking everything up. And then in Marvel, there was the whole movie Civil War was about being like, yo, you guys like have to basically work for us because we can't have you just doing whatever you want.
What does that mean then, dude? What does that mean then to try to create fucking amazing things?
Like attracts like, bro.
Yeah, but if you build something amazing and then its equal destruction is brought into existence.
Like Facebook.
Like fucking Facebook.
Like the internet in general. Like you think about how many millions of people's lives are for the better because of it. But then at the same time,
how many fucking
bad. Yeah. People kill people just because the internet exists.
So I'll give you a thought experiment then, a thought exercise. The sages say to combat this, you can't stop the swing, you just rise above it so that it swings underneath you. Knowing that, how would you stop the swing of, say, the internet? The internet opened up connectivity like we've never seen before, which is dope because we make amazing connections with people we've never met before. But then you can sell your soul. Like, Facebook will sell your soul to fucking companies so that they can spam the shit out of you, like manipulate you through the media by knowing what you're talking about and shit like that. So it's like, what would you do for the thought experiment?
How to stop it?
Not how to stop it, but how would you, if you're going to create the internet, how are you going to stop fucking, what would you do to step above the swing?
I would say focus more. Like I wouldn't control what people say, but I would favor like education. So like rather than
that's good.
all of my YouTube video recommendations being like some random blonde reporters fucking reading some like 25-year-old like social justice warriors like fucking script on the teleprompter speculating about how shitty the world is and 200,000 people are going to die in 2 months. I would, rather than those being my recommended videos, it would be more like, what is coronavirus? It'd be like fucking educational shit so people can see
Useful.
that. So that way when they hear all this kind of stuff, they would, yeah. What? Hold on a second. Let me
Yeah.
check that. Like that's what I would
Yeah.
want to do. Like if I had to change school, like the education system, that's what it would be. It wouldn't be like memorize all this fucking
Yeah.
useless. Like maybe it's not useless, but memorize all this irrelevant, like not like facts, quote unquote, because
Yeah.
most of the time, like in history, most of the time that
People.
shit is either altered or completely fabricated. And then with like science and shit, you're learning all that stuff and it's gonna change
Everywhere,
in
man.
5 years. And like I went to school for accounting, and if you become a CPA or whatever, every year you have to go and take like a 3-month course because the fucking laws are consistently changing. So it's like, why am I even learning this shit right now?
Huh.
I would be so rather than just forcing kids to memorize shit and then take a test and then forget about it in a week, I would teach them like how to fucking learn and how to question things and why people are the way they are and why you are the way you are and how to have sex and shit, how to get shit like that. Like imagine if you taught in like senior year of high school or like freshman year of college, you taught, oh shit. Did I just lose connection?
Nah, you're good.
Oh, it just told me that I got signed out of my account.
Of of Zoom.
Yeah. But if I'm live, we lit. So imagine that. If, imagine how much happier like guys and girls would be
Yeah,
if
that's the actual fucking verbatim what they say is the answer to pretty much everything. The writers of all these old texts, they all say the same thing. It's all knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom will fucking fix the world, which is education. So
yeah, bro. Because just like you think about the reason, like most of the people who are like reposting dumbass shit or like coming at some like Instagram influencer in her comments, like calling her a fat bitch and all this stuff, and she only weighs 100 pounds. Those people, they just don't know. Like what? Maybe they're really smart, uh, fucking statistic analyzer or whatever, but they're not smart enough emotionally to know
yeah,
why they're feeling that way and how to get out of it and how to accept that they're feeling that way, most importantly. So
yeah,
once they accept it, they can let go of all the anger and all that shit, and then they can clearly decide how to move forward. And that's like just that education. Teach that in school. Teach that to kids when they're fucking 11 years old and getting their first boner and getting all these like emotions, then they don't know what the fuck to do. They don't know why when they see this other 11-year-old girl that they feel this weird way that they never felt before. So they're mean to her now on her and shit and saying that she sucks dick and all this stuff that they don't even know what it means, but they're just saying it because
yeah,
it distracts them from that new weird foreign feeling that they're getting. And you just fucking explain to them how they're feeling that way and why they
yeah.
shouldn't be treating somebody who they're attracted to in a shitty
First
way.
and foremost, homie, like,
Yeah.
and even worse, why some people could grow up favoring abusive relationships. When you stretch the degree to the end of the scale, it's like some people are drawn to relationships that are violent, aggressive and controlling and like toxic because it's fucking
Yeah,
used to it, man.
exactly. But if you were to have taught that person what they need, the knowledge to understand like why they'd be drawn to that. So even if they did go through it, their dad still like maybe their dad was like clinically depressed.
Uh-huh.
So he was drunk and angry and stuff like that. So there was no like knowledge that could have like saved him from that. So the girl did go through that. But in school, she learned why
Yeah.
what happens like in when you go through those kind of experiences and why you would be drawn to these negative things. So now she knows in her head.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you were teaching like teaching psychology classes to preteens and teens? Like 11, 12 to 18, taking steady psychology classes. Like, this is how the mind works. This is how families work. Like,
Yeah,
this
bro.
is what happens in the real world. Like, this is what to expect fucking during these years. These are what the stats say. Like, there's a good chance you might be depressed in your fucking early to mid 20s. Like, this is what you do. Here's some resources. Like, this is maybe why you got into it. This is how you can get out of it. Like,
I think a lot of honestly, I feel like that kind of education would prevent a lot of the depression because
for sure.
even a lot of the clinically diagnosed shit, because a lot of that is, I feel like, and I'm not a fucking psychologist or doctor, but I feel like a lot of it clinically, like it clinically manifests and it becomes like a chemical thing when you're just repetition. Like every
Yeah.
day you're feeling that way when originally you weren't that way. You weren't built that way, but you keep
Got that hypnotic
doubling down
rhythm.
on that feeling. And then next thing you know, that's just who you are. All your neurons
Yeah.
changed and shit. I feel like a
Yeah,
lot
for
of that
sure.
could be prevented. But yeah, I mean, that's how I would change school and the internet.
I was doing this. I do these live readings on the channel where I read live fucking shit. And I was just reading one that's super good, man. It's called "The Interview with the Devil" by Napoleon Hill,
Mm.
who was on some shit. Like, you think of him as
Mhm.
an entrepreneur, self-help, motivation guru, but not at all, man. He's like a cult as fuck when you read his other texts. So
Yeah.
this book, he's sitting down with the devil and they're talking to each other back and forth. But the devil, Napoleon asked the devil, like, what's one of the ways you get people on your side? And first and foremost, it's the drifters. And the drifters are these people who don't have a definiteness of purpose. So they basically drift from one thing to another, always sort of passive, just life happening to them instead of them happening to life, sort of shit.
Mm.
And he says eventually these drifters hit something called hypnotic rhythm, where you do something long enough, that's you. And he literally says you cannot escape from it.
Mm.
Like, there's no, which is I appreciated the devil saying, because all I've ever been taught is um, it's like, oh, you can change anything, you can change anything, you can change anything. And it's like the devil goes, yeah, you can, but realistically, like, how many people are? Realistically, yeah, anyone can change, but when that hypnotic rhythm sets in, they're not. I bet on it, and that's why I fucking win. Because 99 of the 100 who can change and say that believe it don't actually change. And that's basically a physical representation, is people's brains do fucking rewire. Like, their synapses fire differently, like different parts of their brain is active in a flight or fight situation, so their body reacts a certain way without them wanting it to. Like sometimes if I'm in a confrontation, my heart rate goes up. And it's like, why the fuck is my heart rate going up? Like,
Mhm.
chill. Like, this isn't a fight or flight moment. Why is my heart racing right now? Sort of thing. And
I
it's
was,
wiring, dude. It's straight up fucking hypnotic rhythm.
would you say it was Napoleon Hill?
Napoleon Hill, Interview with the Devil,
I keep finding
or
I was trying to
outwitting the devil. Is that what you're saying?
I keep finding Outwitting the Devil and Conversation with the Devil.
Yeah. So, Conversation with the Devil is like an excerpt out of that book.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, I was super confused too, because I saw it first as Conversation with the Devil or Interview with the Devil, whatever I said. Um, and I couldn't find the book. And that was why I figured out that was like, oh, that's just a part, like a book within a book, basically, sort of thing.
Mm.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's it. That one's good. His like 16 rules for success. Basically, Napoleon Hill interviewed Andrew Carnegie in like 1908. You heard of Andrew Carnegie?
Yeah.
Super self-made dude. Carnegie goes, here's a bunch of money, quit your job, travel the world, and interview like 20 of the greatest minds in the world, and then we'll have this conversation on how do you become like me. And Napoleon Hill does that, interviews people off of Carnegie's dime, and comes back and he goes, yo, all these fucks are doing the same exact thing. Like it's like visualization. Everything starts in the mind. People that you surround yourself with, you become like. He even talks about manipulating sex energy to manifest, and how people. He doesn't say no fap, but he basically goes down those lines where it's like that's your most powerful creative force. If you're beating your meat, or if you're having sex with someone who's not growing with you, you're wasting like your most powerful source of energy. And he gets that from all these people, and like has an interview with Carnegie, and that's a book. That one's super fucking good too. All his books are really good. Like the Think and Grow Rich is like the tip of the iceberg as far as what he talks about.
Interesting. So he says that no, jacking off is bad for you.
No, I paraphrased on that. Basically, he said, sex energy is the most creative force you have, and you must not waste it. There are ways of wasting it, and there are ways of cultivating it. I can't remember verbatim what he says, but I definitely would, just from what I remember reading, jacking off to porn is definitely a huge waste of sexual energy.
Damn.
But he doesn't say like basic. So what his thing is, one of his big ideas is this. He calls it the mastermind, and whenever two minds get together, they create a third mastermind, or three, just more than one mind comes together, they create a mastermind. And the strongest mastermind you'll ever create, according to him, is your spouse, because it's the blend of the masculine and the feminine, and choosing the proper partner is like the biggest thing you'll ever do for yourself in life as far as getting shit done. And the sex energy was a physical representation of that energy, and not utilizing that well, like mixing that sex energy with something that's not towards your goal, is going to fuck you up. And that's what he was saying. But I don't know if it was like verbatim masturbation is off, or obviously he didn't say porn or anything like that. But me personally, I can't see how porn is going to help you manifest things by blowing loads to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Could be wrong.
No, it's definitely not necessarily beneficial as much as it is just like a quick fix.
Yeah.
Which never really benefits anything anyway.
No.
Like the shortcuts, you know?
Yeah.
I'll have to look. I just downloaded both those PDFs. I need to study more.
Yeah, dude. Me too. Honestly, outside of what I read in the channel, like I haven't read a book in fucking years, dude. I've read for pleasure a couple like fantasy books and stuff, but I haven't like gone diving on some shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
But tying back in to what we were saying earlier with what you just said about them using sex is like, it can be good and it can be bad. It's all about how you use it. And it's having the wisdom and the knowledge to know how to use it to your benefit versus letting it use you.
Yeah. Because it's fucking, Matt, like, imagine what busting a nut does, dude. Like, it creates a whole new soul. Like, think of the energy that has to go behind that nut to bring a fucking brand new soul into existence.
Yo, do you think that's why people feel guilt when they jack off? You know, like because I've looked that up too. Like, why does that happen? Because I don't get it. Like, there's plenty of times where I'm satisfied. But like some people even get it when they're having sex. Like they'll be, you know, like the classic, like, oh, I gotta go kind of shit. But you think that's why? Because
maybe, I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe.
Like a piece of your, almost like if your spirit was like a physical thing, and every time you shot a load.
That's the argument that's made, dude. Is that the semen is the literal physical and mind, because everything has a counterpart. It's like when you hear holographic universe or whatever, like that's it. The semen is the fucking physical counterpart of spirit, of at least the creative aspect of spirit is what the ejaculate is. And so you want to use that wisely is what the idea behind it is. Not to just like send it on the wall or something like that.
Shit, man. I mean, I can see that with jerking off, but fucking having sex.
But there, see that? Remember, dude, like the whole thing with Kundalini was ejaculation is not synonymous with orgasm, and I figured that shit out firsthand. Remember, I told you about that Kundalini thing, like I could do it at will.
Mm-hmm.
That was still the climax without releasing anything. So it can be done, and people teach classes like that all the time. I'm following at least 3 or 4 people on my Instagram who are always putting up classes for like how to do it. Like, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's the fucking tactic.
Yeah, I agree, because there's been a few times during sex, but there's been a lot of times in blowjobs, like before I have sex, to where it's fucking straight up orgasm, just like, but it's like it's one of those things where you like get right to the point of busting and then don't.
That's different though. That they make a strong distinction, but that's what's the term for that? Edging. They make a strong difference between edging and the ejaculate-less orgasm. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's the term for it. Yeah. So it's different than that. I can do it when I'm meditating, but there's no way in hell I can do it when I'm actually having sex. There's no way I can hold that shit back. I'd have to study that shit religiously to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, because your physical body, like you're doing, like your physical body is stimulating that orgasm, and in direct relation, your body's also going, oh, we got to shoot this thing out pretty soon. So yeah, I could see how. So it's like you have to find a way to where your body's not like, oh shit, our dick is keeps going in and out of this vagina. Like, we got to shoot this load. You got to find another way. Like, I don't know if there's like some weird like foreplay thing. Maybe that's what that Kama Sutra shit is. Like, you don't touch or whatever.
For sure. Dude, I haven't touched on the Kama Sutra in days. Days upon days.
Well, how many chicks do we got in the chat right now? Maybe Gary just entered, so.
Wait, it tells you when people come into the room?
No. I was just looking through to see who's in here.
Brandy, Pandora, Agent Smith, what up? Goddess of Cats is here, and yes, you came in as we were talking about edging. Thanks for coming. All pun intended.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to be coming.
Oh, that's right. My bad. I missaid that. Feels 12-step, like 12-step as in 12 steps to recovery. Is that what you're referring to, Aljaya? If I'm pronouncing that right? Yeah, dude, if there's anything the coronavirus can help people during quarantine, it's step up their fucking edging game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you got all this time, you might as well do some crazy ass shit, experiment.
Hanging from the ceiling.
I'm curious, whoever's in the chat, if you want to message, if you feel comfortable, message, tell us what's one of the craziest things you've done. If a couple people tell me and Keith some crazy shit that they've done, I'll tell you some crazy shit that I've done. Because I'm definitely curious.
You got to give them a second. I think the delay is like a solid 24 seconds from us speaking to them hearing.
What the hell, man? I wish that shit was live.
I don't know, man. They probably do it just so fucking If aliens come on a live, they can cut that shit out.
for sure. No, so they can fill. They probably have that. So on TikTok, when you upload a video, the fucking algorithm is insane, by the way, but it analyzes every single frame in the video.
Really?
Yeah, every single frame to make sure that you don't like slip some shit in, and well, one,
Every frame?
yeah, so you don't like put like 0.1 second of your cock on the video,
Damn.
but also so it can like that. I feel like just doing frame by frame helps them more accurately describe or figure out what kind of video it is.
Yeah.
And
It's all snow cone, snow cone, snow cone, snow cone, penis, snow cone, snow cone.
exactly. Like, yo, there was this chick who it was during the Hong Kong riots. It was all over the news because she got famous on TikTok or whatever for doing like hair and makeup tutorials.
Uh-huh.
So one of her recent videos at the time, she was like doing her hair thing, and instead of talking about what she's doing, she was talking about what's actually happening in Hong Kong. Is like a lot of you guys don't know because the news isn't covering, but Hong Kong, 1,000 people just died on the streets because they're rioting for blah, 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 blah. And she's like talking like that, doing her hair. So it looked like she's doing her makeup tutorial. So the algorithm would send it out to as many people as it normally does. Cause it's like,
shit.
oh, hair video. But then they fucking, whoever it was, caught on that, oh, she's talking about fucking exactly what we don't want her to be talking about right now. So they deleted they removed the video, and then if the news caught it, everybody caught it, and then like TikTok came out and we're like, oh, we don't know why that video got taken down. It had nothing to do with what she was saying. It's like, well, if it had nothing to do with what she was saying, all her other videos that are the exact same visual thing that she was doing the exact same thing. She was just saying something different. So why did none of the other videos get taken down?
Well, I don't know if you see this, but I see it from my creator studio on YouTube. It's on the very top in red letters. It says, due to human shortage because of the coronavirus, we're going to be having computers scan all the incoming uploads. So a lot of videos might get deleted without breaking community guidelines. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Wait, YouTube said that?
YouTube says that to me when I log into the creator studio. Right? So I was like, oh, so is this their scapegoat that they can just monitor or fucking screen the hell out of their incoming videos and delete them?
Yeah, bro. That's exactly what they do. Like they did Alex Jones. Like you had, before they just straight up kicked him off, if you typed in like Alex Jones, for the first like 5 pages, it would just be like CNN's report on how crazy he is, or like some other YouTuber with a tenth of his following talking about like how they don't agree with his shit, and because they were backlogging his brand new fucking video or his most popular video. They would backlog that shit or back page it so people couldn't find it. And other shit like that, like somebody would say
they did that with another YouTuber I was watching, the guy who does all the super controversial shit. I forgot his name, but he does those change my mind segments.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That guy. I watched a bunch of his change my mind videos, and then he was like, "Yo, fucking subscribe to YouTube, screwing us over. They're taking stuff down. Like, go." He's like, "Go YouTube my most famous video. It's got like 6 million views, and watch how far it comes up." And yeah, type it in, type his name, type the video title, and he's like 4 pages back, dude. Like, all kinds of random stuff is coming up in front of him. All hating on him, by the way. All hating on him for like a good page and a half, and then it gets to his stuff.
I mean, he's wacky. Some of his shit I don't fuck with, but
I don't fuck with most of his stuff, but I like those conversations. I like hearing what people have to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially college students, like what's going on in their heads right now.
I love watching that shit too, because it's like a thought experiment. Just watching conversations and hearing somebody like him or like somebody like Ben Shapiro, who are like really articulate and really good at arguing. they're arguing some fucking wacky ass shit. Like, a baby, a fetus has a soul, but they're like so good and like fast talking that somebody who's not ready for it ain't ready. But yo, check. We got some participants in the challenge in the comments.
Oh, we do.
The first got us a cat. I don't know exactly what that means. It's manifesting. What were you trying to manifest? That's what I'm curious about. Beings, superpowers.
Wait, where are you even reading from?
So in the chat thing, I just did this. Go to the chat window and it says where it says like top chat. Click that arrow and click live chat so it shows all the messages.
What? Has this been here the whole time?
I don't know. I just noticed that. I'm like, why the hell are you only giving me top messages? I want all the fucking. So yeah, she says definitely manifested. Oh, she's
sex magic, orgasms.
Yeah, so anybody who's saying they can't see it, go to the chat window, go to the top of the chat window, and it says top chat. If it says live chat, you're seeing all the messages. If it says top chat, click that arrow because they're fucking filtering some shit.
Yeah, no, what the hell?
It's just whack. If you're on mobile, I don't know. You have to find that.
Yeah, dude, have you ever come across sex magic in any of your hunts?
No, dude. I've come across some experiences where I thought she was possessed.
Damn, dude, you're about to learn today.
Uh-oh.
There is a whole world of sex magic out there that is like on some next level, dude. Like sex with demons, sex with succubi and incubi, masturbative sex magic with partner sex magic. Dude, it's pretty crazy.
That's some next level shit.
It is
a whole other world.
I'm surprised you haven't come across it. I spent a couple years balls deep in the sex magic.
Nah, I've never been the magic guy.
No, well, it's called magic, but everyone calls magic fucking magic for the past like 40, 50 years. It's the cool thing. It's more like it's the same exact lines of what we talked about before in creative energy and the orgasm. Only you direct that to something. So you can like, some people will create their own, what's the word? For like a glyph, your own, what the hell? Like not a mantra. What's the thing called? Like a little circle and it's got the little design in it. I'm drawing a blank right now. Anywho, you draw your own symbol, focus on it. You and your partner focus on it, but you have to hold the thought. Like you can't for a second let it slip. Two, it can't, if you can help it, the more the better. It can't be about horniness and sex. It has to be like all that aside and everything solely for what you want to manifest. And then there's different things like you can finish, like if you're alone, you finish the load on the talisman, whatever makeshift object you have that represents them, like money, for example, or some shit like that. Or you and your partner on it, but you and your partner have to hold the same thought, or you write it on a piece of paper. There's a bunch of different variations, but it's pretty crazy, dude. Or with like demons, like some fucking people were straight like try to summon demons. You've heard of succubus, right? And incubus. You've heard of the band Incubus.
You guys are. I thought I had some crazy shit. You guys are on some next level.
Dude, we're on some next level. So wait, I'm not done. You know incubus? What an incubus is, right?
It's something bad, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, an incubus is a demon that in lore and literature is a demon that comes to you during your sleep paralysis or something like that, and basically molests you. Like a succubus is a female version that preys on men, usually appears as a really attractive woman, sleeps with you, and steals your life force via your semen. And then the incubus is the male version of that demon. So it's not, dude, they're all on it. Like the Incubus knew what they were doing when they named themselves Incubus, for example. Like that was no fucking mistake. That's just all concentrated energy for whatever purpose, whatever reason.
Yeah, bro. What's his name was fucking deep. Brandon, the lead singer. He was next level.
Was he? I didn't follow him.
You ever hear aqueous transmission?
It's been a while.
I mean, you could, if you just listen to his lyrics, like the way he writes, you could tell he thinks differently. He goes down the rabbit hole.
Good, as he should.
But I'm curious if homegirl got the job.
Oh yeah, my bad. I totally sidetracked that.
No, I'm glad that you explained it, because I thought it was a typo. So she was. Hi guys, I'm new to this group. Acid as the only girl with a bunch of guys in a natural hot spring. Oh damn. Watch the sunset, moonrise. Got preggo the next day. Did you see that one? Right under
damn, I did just see it.
Yo, I've had sex on acid many times, and that shit is wild. Those are the closest experiences I've gotten. Like with all the shit you guys are talking about with manifesting, having sex with like serpents and shit.
Dude, don't get more ritualistic sex than doing it on some doses.
Dude, that is next level. That in that mind state is weird for me. It was like, it wasn't like that angsty, like, oh, having sex, like, don't come. It was this like sounds cheesy, like the cheesy, but it was like that woke, like I was so woke. I was like aware, and I felt everything, but also I was like, I was feeling it, but I was also like seeing myself experience it, and also like seeing her and like what's inside of her and all this kind of crazy, like feeling her emotions. I don't know. It was like that entanglement almost.
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Nuts.
I haven't.
But when that pendulum swings, there's been other times, like at music festivals, where I'm like, oh no, what am I? I don't, you know how sometimes things don't look as attractive.
Dude, when it comes to that on doses, I get that way before. I'll see him and I'll be like, oh, there's been times they just looked at me and I walked in the other direction. I'm like,
yeah, but then you see like you see like beautiful girl, and you're like you hear angels like choir singing as she walks by, like there's like a light just like shining over her as she walks by, and you
look like the characters in the game that have a quest for you. They're all like glowing and shit. Like,
yeah, and you're like, you just want to, like, you don't even need to speak or like want to speak or touch or anything. You just want to, like, you're just glad that you're like.
Well, that's the best. That's a time where you're just like, I'll just thank the heavens. Like, thank you that such things exist. Like, I appreciate it, man.
Yo, homegirl said she had orgasm for hours and slept. Her and her husband slept united, which I'm assuming means inside. Woke up at the same time, had the same dream. Damn. That's fucking. Damn. That's the kind of shit that'll fucking bond you with somebody forever, I feel like.
Yeah, that's intense.
Watch, she's not with him.
She might not be, because I thought she said my ex-lover at one point.
I could have
been. No, it's not my lover now. Oh, nice. Hopefully it's not ex. We'll see. Or maybe, hopefully it is. I don't know the situation, but it sounds like quite a damn.
So I've had, somebody said beer goggles. Fucking, you think beer goggles are bad? Try fucking acid lenses.
Oh my God. That's what they should be called. Acid lenses. They're not goggles. These ain't goggles.
You can't take them out.
What
All right. All right. Let me think of one. See, now you
up, Capone? Welcome.
these ladies got some badass stories. I'm trying to think. I've had one. I've definitely slept united before, but I didn't have like crazy ass dreams and shit like that. Let me think.
Did you consciously do it, or did you like just pass out in there?
I've done both. It's like one was like drunk and having sex and falling asleep.
That's what I was like. That's what I was getting at.
And there's other ones where it's like, I just don't want to get out. I just don't want to leave. You know, because you like it just felt so good. The experience was so good, and I was like, I just don't want it to stop. I can't.
Yeah.
Keep going. A crazy one. Oh, I mean, I don't even know if these are crazy anymore because of these fucking people. But the crazy one I had was having sex at a music festival, basically in front of everyone.
You did that?
Yeah.
Oh man, savage.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where we were mad horny. There was no everyone was just like chilling at the tents and stuff. And so we were just like, oh yeah, we couldn't find anywhere. So we just like went like literally at the car next to all the tents and like right on the main road where everybody's like walking through and shit.
Yeah.
Just went at it.
Damn.
Like it was like one of those blind, we just wanted to have sex right now. It didn't matter.
This was not lucidity, was it?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it was that lightning in a bottle. So if you got anybody in this group from Cali, they've probably been to lightning in a bottle and they may have seen it.
Yeah. How many people are in the room? Also, before I forget, I just saw that Sharon Martin. I don't know if you're still in the room, but thank you kindly for the cash app. I appreciate it. Thanks, girl. What does the share say? Sprinkle, sprinkle. What up? My bad.
What's your cash app so everyone knows?
The homie John Smith has been posting it in the thing. It's my government, which I probably should change because I started it before I was realizing I was gonna blast it, but just Keyth Cypress Garcia, but Keyth with the I.
Nice.
My government.
That cash app, that Venmo is coming in handy right now. Everybody's so broke.
I know.
Yo, one of the beautiful things though, that I've been trying to focus on these kind of things because obviously the chaos is louder than the beautiful shit, but it feels, you can't help but like feel hopeless in these times, and you can't help but feel like everybody's fucked. Like no one out there is helping, no one out there knows what's going on. But you go online, like I sent you that link the other day, there's so many people that are either like donating hundreds of thousands of dollars, and not just to, and this is why I brought it up, because it's not just to like X charity nonprofit bullshit and you don't even know where the money's going or whatever. It's like they're donating it. Like I found this spreadsheet. There was two spreadsheets. There was one with like hundreds of links, like applications that people can file for grants, and they were like direct cash grants. People were donating money to these.
Oh yeah,
groups.
You got $1,000, didn't you?
Yeah,
it's dope.
So like there's people out there who aren't, I don't know, maybe they're like a bunch of rich dudes in Alabama or like wherever it's not affected, or even like people in California.
Bunch of rich people in Alabama.
Like, or think about all the money in LA or Santa Barbara, all those people who aren't affected, who are still making just as much as they were before, and so they have all this money, and they're like, "No, this is fucked. Like like people are fucked. Like I need to give some of this money back," and a lot of people are doing that, and a lot of people are spending time finding these people, like building a organization to help disperse the money that they want to donate, and like collecting lists of other people that are doing it, and like creating Reddit groups and fucking
Awesome.
spreadsheets, like crazy. Like a lot people are definitely coming together and helping, which is really cool because I fucking need help right now.
Because I mean, yeah, so do I. So thanks for donating, you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for buying from the Etsy shop. The Etsy shop's been killing it, actually.
Right.
Thanks for joining the Patreon, and the Patreon has discounts on the Etsy shop. So a little bit of help me, help you marketing plan there. But yeah, there was something in here that I saw that someone that said my name, it was highlighted. Oh, your turn, man of letters.
Oh, hey, got us the cats. Shout out. Look at it. You guys can't tell because his skin is dark, but he's definitely turning red right now.
Definitely blushing on that. Again, I'm like, damn, I don't even know. I'm gonna share this one. Like, nah, I can't share that one. I definitely can't share this one. Maybe, nah, I definitely can't share that anyway. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. Oh man, it's not a sex story because we didn't actually.
What about in Summerlin?
That time I friggin' went way too heavy and on the malls down in LA at the Lucidity Satellite Festival. It was when I was running my Welcome Home YouTube channel, and I was doing a lot more video work back then, and so this music festival had an event in LA, and I got a free ticket to do photography and do videos for them. And I met this group of people, and they were all drinking, merrymaking and shit. And I had way too much Molly and was mixing it. Well, it's not that I had too much, but I was mixing it with whiskey. Two of the fucking worst things you can possibly combine. And damn, this girl, like, basically it was like 5 of us. We went back to their spot, kept drinking, kept hanging out and shit. And then I started hallucinating because I was so jacked up off this Molly that I was hallucinating. And this girl, like her hair hung over her face, and where her hair was covering her face, underneath it was a skeleton. It was like her face was skin and bones, but her face under her hair was a skeleton. I could see it was like a pale blue with like a pale blue coldish aura around it, and her face was like I can see through like an x-ray machine. And I bugged out, and she was like coming on to me, and she was like taking her top off, and I was like just having the worst time of my fucking life, dude. And like her hair, she was wearing a wig, like her wig fell off, and I was just like,
oh shit, that would freak me out.
It was all bad news. Not to mention, I had the worst MDMA come down of my entire life. It lasted like 4 days of like just not being at all happy.
Yo, that happened to me, except not on Molly, on LSD.
Oh, really?
The skeleton face.
You got the skeleton face too?
It freaked me out for a second, but then I was just like, just don't look at the face.
You're like, what?
I was like, just don't look at her face.
Oh, dude, I can't. I like, when I get in that mood, if I'm around someone, especially if it's like a sexual encounter, because it's such like a sticky feeling, if it's not right, dude, I'm out. I can't ignore vibes like that, dude. They sink into the pores, and my mind just goes fucking crazy. I gotta dip at all costs. I'll make a fool out of myself to dip. Like, that's all.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like you know how they say when you take psychedelics, you could like shift planes of existence or whatever.
Yeah.
Senses are open to like things that you don't normally see. What if that was just like not a succubant, a succubus,
Oh,
and
it
you just
fucking could have been, man. Like,
and you could have and she just slipped out of like her human form or whatever.
oh, man, I fucking my YouTube channel is based off of a fucking show called Supernatural, and there's just supernatural creatures, and that's exactly how they just like they show it in the TV show is like they'll like lose energy for a second and it'll slip and like little shimmer of reptile eyes or like a ghost face or something like behind the hair too. They'd done that before. Well, I don't know, dude. It could have because the group was weird. There was a guy there who was like he was an Indian dude, but he was a producer. Um, and they were like they were obviously they're all swingers, and the girl was like, hey, do you mind if we hook up with each other right here next to you on the couch? And I was like so far out of it that I was like
Couldn't even process
couldn't even fight, dude. I was just like at that point, dude, then I was miserable. I escaped thankfully, but fucking
Was that the same one? That's not the one. Remember that one time at Lucidity, you just disappeared and then you came back and you're
oh,
like,
this
oh,
was at one of Lucidity's satellite things. They, they have like the little Lucidity Presents shows.
yeah.
It was one of those in LA.
You've had some crazy experiences at these Lucidity events.
Yeah, I have. Lucy's been a weird one too. I tried to get what's the word? Hired by this boat crew. I was like mobbing around, all dosed out, like just minding my own business, frolicking through the woods, listening to music and shit. And they're like, "Hey, come up and hang out on our boat." And I was like, "Yeah, come up and hang up on the boat." Like I got up on the boat, and they all had their cameras out, and they basically had another girl come on the boat who was completely out of it. Had me come up on the boat, and I like looked around, and I was like, "Oh, this is like, shit's getting weird." I was like, "Oh, thanks, guys," but like, no, I'm out here. Like, they appreciate everything, and like they were all 6 cameras, and they were like the couples they were all older people too. They were like the older couples were leaning on each other, like staring at us. I was like, this is fucking.
Bunch of crazy psychedelic voyeurs.
That's what it was, dude. And they had a boat in the middle of the forest. They were all on a fucking boat.
I'm pretty sure that whole like Santa Barbara County area, especially like Santa Barbara and Montecito, fucking people there are all like super nice and like so positive and foo-foo, but there's some
What?
there's some wild shit that goes down with sex as far as like I'm talking like politician style weird.
Oh, like the crazy weird shit that goes on.
This like the like luring in an unwitting or a witless guy and girl and fucking just sitting there watching with 8 cameras while they make out.
Dude, people with money do weird things.
This chick who I worked with when I worked at a restaurant in Montecito, she was telling me our best friend is like this Indian kid and he drives Uber or Lyft or something like that. And a couple one night that he picked up paid him $5,000 to fuck the wife. Yeah. Shit gets wild.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's wild. Shit. Yeah.
I was like, damn, I'm about to apply for Lyft. I downloaded that. Fuck this job. Make $5,000 a night. And yo, did you see that their San Francisco part of their relief, like their county relief stimulus includes sex workers?
Are you serious?
They got like wait, I take that back. It was either San Francisco's stimulus or like a San Francisco based organization that is like offering financial assistance, like grant, like free money. And they were off the sex workers was like, you have musicians, freelance, sex workers.
Damn. Damn. How do they prove income?
Maybe.
Isn't that legal?
No, with the small grants, so like you put how much you make and stuff, but it's only the more like complex companies that are asking for like pay stubs and shit like that. But a lot
Yeah.
of them, it's just like proof that you like had that job or whatever, and they just ask you how much you make.
Interesting.
But I can't imagine they're asking sex workers for proof of income, except for like strippers and shit.
Yeah, that's what my buddy said that they're looking at old pay stubs to see how much they should pay people from like this time last year, and then they pay them out.
Depends on what, like that's what the unemployment companies do. That's what
Um,
some of the organizations do that because they'll base like they'll prioritize who they're gonna give money to first.
yeah, I see.
But yeah, it's fucking dope because they're like, yeah, we know you exist, we know you work. But if you're hooking for money and you're not getting clients and you're not on fucking OnlyFans or some shit, you're fucking up. You're not on Snapchat Premium, you're fucking up. Like you don't deserve that. You could be making bank, and you're
No,
just gonna have to fuck those old fat white guys.
no, dude, it's crazy. My friggin' girl gets hit up not constantly, but fairly frequently, where people are like, "Let me give you money. Let me give you money. What's your
To
cash?
hook up or to just to watch?
What's that?"
To hook up or just to like video?
Well, of course, there's always fucking means to an end. With people like this, they're always that's like their way in kind of thing, hoping that they can be like sugar daddy. It's like sugar daddy
Yeah.
attempts, basically. And now I always tell her that I'm like, yo, tell me $200. I was like, send them pictures of feet from the internet and get $200 from them. So she's not down, but I'm gonna one of these times I'm gonna get her to do that.
Yeah, I feel like most self-respecting girls aren't down. Like my girlfriend, I'm always trying to get her to fucking do like some niche, super niche, anonymous like Pornhub channel or something. And she knows it'll pop up like you're saying with the feet. Because one of her videos, I posted a video of her feet on TikTok because she does something funny on like tile floors, and it fucking popped off. And I'm like, yo, see, they fuck like there's a market. And she just like looked at, you can tell she like thought about it for a second and was like, fuck no.
Oh, no. Damn. I mean, we can always do it. We could just go and like pay for stock photos and start an IG and start sending pictures of feet to people.
Yo, I asked her that too. I was like, well, how do you feel about me starting what is it? A fishnet? No, not fishnet. How do you
Catfish.
feel about me starting a catfish account where I just repost other people's shit? And we decided that it was a little
As my thing with that is if it's a paid for stock photo, then it's game. As long as the photos are legal. And if they're just too lazy to research that these are actual stock photos, then that's on.
you believe what you want to believe.
I heard of people getting paid for blowing up balloons fully clothed. Damn.
Yo, the homegirls stopped commenting. I'm wondering if we didn't impress Goddess of Cats with our stories.
Oh, yeah, that could have been it. Maybe it wasn't good enough. I'm not giving you guys fucking full details. Sorry. I didn't even give you full details of the stories that I did tell you. Like, no way in hell you guys are getting the full 110 of this thing online.
Yeah, that's that offline shit.
You guys can sign up for my OnlyFans if you want to hear
the premium. Sign up for his YouTube Red channel.
Yeah, you gotta sign up to the YouTube Red, my Snapchat premium.
Wait, can't you do on YouTube now that you like past 10K or whatever? Can't people like not subscribe, but there's like another thing.
Oh, I think that's even bigger than 10K. As far as I know, all I can do now with 10K is I can do YouTube stories now. Which you can't do till 10K. But I'm still waiting on that. That takes like 2 weeks to update apparently. But that'd be dope.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, it's different because this guy, like, I just looked somebody else up and it, like, right next to subscribe, there's join. Well, shit.
Oh, I know what
Everybody
you're talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's
think
like
that
a direct, almost like Patreon thing. I think that YouTube is doing now.
that members only shit. If you
Yeah,
guys want to
dude.
hear Keith's stories, you want to hear the adult versions. Get
Damn.
your ass, get his ass to what is it? Let's just say it's 50K followers. Get
Let's just say it's
Snap
what?
Letters to 50K, and you guys will get all access to Keith.
Oh my god. I'll have to wear a mask while I do it. You know? The way I can claim it wasn't me if anything ever happened.
Yo, they'll be down for it because they're members only, so they already know who you are. So like, just and that protects you in case the video goes viral or some shit. You know what
Damn.
I'm saying? So they
Yeah,
know
yeah,
it's
yeah,
you
yeah.
still.
Damn. We'll see. Stay tuned for the members only vids, you guys.
If you guys get them to 50K by the time this coronavirus pandemic is over.
All right,
So,
you heard it. Everyone's fucking laughing. Goddess of Cast says it will suffice. It better suffice. It's gotta suffice.
I mean, she wanted some next level fucking seance shit.
I haven't done sex magic. I researched the hell out of it, and I'm definitely down. I just with something like that, I really wanted to like read a book or two on that shit before I start dabbling in some shit that I
Yeah, you
don't know
can't go
about.
in blind.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, you know.
Fuck around and summon the wrong demon or some shit.
But yeah, dude, I'm not trying to fuck around and grow a horn on the side of my head or some shit like that.
Well, yo, I saw this video or this show called The Magicians. That's another one you could get into
I like that show. It's dope.
where they got the one chick, the one chick who didn't get into the school or whatever,
Yeah,
and she like starts learning magic, like black market magic. And she
yeah.
and they try to summon. They think that they're summoning a god, but they end up it was some demon, some trickster demon who was
Yeah,
posing as a god and then came through and fucking killed everybody.
and raped and impregnated her.
That's like, if all of this shit that you guys are doing, if it's real, then
That's what I'm saying. That's why. So there's a split in this world where a lot of my following are down for the demon summoning and spirit summoning. Because here's the thing, why I'm like sort of neutral towards it is because what a demon is has changed throughout time. Like for the most part, the Catholic Church demonized a lot of demons. Like before, a demon was a muse, just a spirit that would like, because the Greeks back in the day, they didn't believe that they were the origin of creations. They all thought they had a muse, a demon, and that acted through them. And eventually those demons got demonized. So it's like what you would call a demon by the church was actually just the god of fertility to the fucking Greeks or whatever, it wasn't an evil thing. So that's like the argument for like, fuck it, summon all the demons. Like, but then there's like crazy shit going on. So like, why would you want to summon spirits? Like, I feel like I'm strong enough. Maybe I could just focus my own will and juju on some shit. I'm not trying to summon spirits.
yeah,
But
because
maybe I might be down. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you think about people who do summon them, it's usually people who are like malintended and they end up getting fucked up they
At
like,
least in the movies.
yeah. Well, who else? I
I don't
mean,
know.
I mean,
Hollywood does like to skew shit.
well, in that show though, those people were well intended and they ended up summoning
Oh.
demons.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, think of fucking Lucifer. His name literally translates to bringer of light. That's what Lu comes from, is light, but he's the ultimate deceiver. So it's like, fuck.
What if I don't know if this is a real story or if somebody's made this story up before, but what if, how you're saying, demons were demonized, and originally they weren't like malicious. What if Lucifer was the demon of light, or the god of light, or whatever, bringer of light, and he was cast out because he was woke, and so he was, he was repressed. He was rebranded as like the bad guy, and originally being the bringer of light, he was well intended and was trying to save people and like show people the light in the like standard definition, but he got so fucking fed up with being demonized that he was like, you know what, fuck it, everybody treats me like I'm this way, I'm just gonna be that way, and I'm gonna be that way fucking crazier than you ever thought I could be. And that's when he became, he was just done. He just snapped, and now he's like, all right, I'll be the super villain. And now that's why he's the deceiver, but his name is something completely different.
It's fucked up, man.
Too far out.
No, I mean, that still kind of makes sense with everything else. Bianca, what's up? Thanks for stopping by, guys. The cast is going. Yeah, man. Well, technically, I guess he wasn't the light. He was just the bringer of the light. So somewhere along the line, his message got tainted. Or what if when he came down from heaven, he lost it? Like
I know what you're saying. There's stories like when they come to Earth or whatever, when they leave heaven, they're mortal. They become mortal, or like they
become mortal
or whatever.
Yeah. Like you descended, you fucking fell from grace. In other words, when you lose grace, you lose like a piece of truth, if grace is truth. And you get down here. That could be why in the Old Testament they say a lot, the angels weren't supposed to mix with humans, and they ended up mixing with humans and quote unquote defiling themselves and creating these super breed called the Nephilim. If you've ever heard the name pop up, it's the offspring of the fallen angels. And the whole thing is like, stay the fuck away from Earth because it's dirty and like it corrupts things.
Or it could be like, if you the book of Genesis or whatever, when they say that God created Earth in 7 or he created everything in 7 days. If everything, Earth was this angel or like God or demon or whatever, like Mother Earth, and then the sun, when he said God created light, that's when he created Lucifer, and Lucifer was light, like lit. Because I was thinking bringer light in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah.
It was literal, and so he was like bringer of light. He was essentially brought light, but he
cast a shadow with light.
No, he went against what he was supposed to do, or like what you're saying with the angels fucking the humans. And God was like, all right, you're no longer the God of light. Sends him down below, and now he's the king of darkness.
No, well, he was smashing after he got sent down. Not before.
No, I'm not saying that's exactly what he did, but he
did okay.
Something to defy God, and that's why he got thrown out.
He was pissed because God was showing more love to the humans, and God told the angels that they needed to kneel to humanity, actually. And he was like, fuck that, we're angels. Like, I'm not kneeling to shit, especially me, because Lucifer was the chosen one, the fucking bringer of light, of truth, of God. And he was like, nah, fuck that. And so God was like, you're gone. And Lucifer was like, all right, fuck you, I'm out. I'm taking all the squad with me, and took X amount of angels with him, and they all were like cast out of heaven.
See, yeah. That's exactly that's what I was saying. He's the bringer of, in the metaphorical way, because everything was a metaphor back then. He was light. And so when the bringer of light, if he's all about the truth, then he's gonna have a serious problem with authority. So when they fucking cast him out, he was like, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna do the exact opposite of what he's doing now, and like broke him, corrupted him. There's something else I was about to say on that though. Oh, I hate that.
I
It's
know.
like,
I did that earlier too. I was fucking pissed. That's why I keep a pen and a piece of paper here, dude, on these things always, because I always forget shit and I have to write it down or else I won't remember it.
I'm thinking of shit while you're talking, but then I also want to like respond to what you're saying.
I know.
I
Well, we're
respond.
talking about you were noting on how falling from grace.
Oh, I figured it. I remembered. Okay, so this is where it gets crazy, and I'm just fucking making this shit up on the spot too.
Shooting from the hip, our
I
favorite
think
thing
the
here.
cool ideas, but he creates this guy who goes, why are you guys bowing to him like you're angels, like you don't have to bow to anybody else. He throws him out, and then however many years later or whatever, he creates Jesus, which is essentially saying the same thing, except that one little thing, everybody but God. So he's like the bringer, he's like the earth's version of Lucifer,
Uh,
bringer of light on earth, telling all these people, stop praying to these false gods, these earthly false gods.
uh-huh.
Don't pray to anybody except this one guy. And that's essentially what Lucifer was doing, except he was saying, don't fucking pray to anybody.
So Jesus was like the anti-Satan.
He says that Jesus was born in God's image or whatever, but what if he was born in Lucifer's image? What if God needed another he needed to like replace the position that became vacant when he cast out Lucifer. So he built Jesus, but he couldn't just bring him up as an angel. He had to fucking send him through a vetting system to make sure that it was the right way and make sure that he was exactly how he wanted him to be.
Jesus. You're saying.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so like I was saying, like how Lucifer got broke. He was originally the same kind of loving being as Jesus, but he got broke by humans and angels and all the negativity that he was getting from them. So God builds Jesus and goes, well, I'm going to test him before I let him up here and make sure that he can handle all that negativity and still remain loyal to me and not become another Satan. So that's why Jesus ends up going through all that fucked up shit.
Yeah.
In his and then once he proves himself, then God's like, all right, you can come up.
Yeah, he let himself get nailed to a cross knowingly.
Yeah, dude. There's probably more to that story.
True.
Got butt fucked.
Well, dude, there's only 4 gospels in the canon Bible. There was 12 apostles or the 12 disciples, but there's only 4 gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's like, what the hell happened to the other fucking 8 books that should be in the Bible from the other 8 people that were rolling deep with Jesus for the few years that they were with him, you know?
I mean, that could be, yeah. What if that's the part that explains what if that part was literally what I'm saying right now?
Like, hey, Jesus is actually the same thing as Lucifer, but he got it right. Lucifer got it wrong.
Bro, I'm not saying I'm a prophet, but
but I'm a prophet.
Like 4 or 5 months ago, when Andrew Yang was still running for president, I was so fucking pumped with him, and then he dropped out.
Yeah, what happened? I didn't know he dropped out.
He just couldn't handle they interviewed a bunch of his campaign employees and like whoever, and essentially it came down to they couldn't handle that how fast he was rising because he was fucking so legit. And he couldn't handle, so he was just like attracting like wildfire, and they couldn't maintain that kind of growth and expansion because they only had like 15 people. So when Dave Chappelle hops on board and gets him another 100,000 people supporting him, they're kind of like on shaky legs. Couldn't capitalize on that growth. But his so after he dropped out, in my head, I'm like, Trump won. And I was like, I was trying to think of how he's going to win. And my idea was all these other like Democratic candidates are preaching all this bullshit that probably wasn't going to be true, but he was saying these things that were like, they were saying these things like free this, free that, free healthcare, whatever, going to tax the rich extra. And Trump, in order to win, would have to do like an equal amount of wild shit that he did 4 years ago to get people on board, to, like the people who like voted for him and then were like, ah, fuck, nah, that guy's, he wasn't what I thought he was. To get
Yeah,
them back.
because he was blowing up too, dude. I forgot about Andrew Yang probably since I don't know when, but I remember he was coming in hot out of nowhere.
And so my theory was what he's gonna do when he's on the debate stage with Bernie, or whoever wins, going head toe to toe. He was gonna go, you guys think healthcare is great? How about a free $1,000 a month? I thought that as soon as Yang dropped out, because he mentioned Yang a couple times. He was the only Dem that Trump only said good things about. Like he was constantly saying how he thinks that he's this brilliant person, likes his ideas and all this shit. And it's like, yo, this is potentially like your opponent. But
Yeah.
Trump would never say that. And that's when I was like, yo, this dude is gonna fucking steal his idea, because that's the KO. And Trump goes, I'm gonna give everybody 1,000. Like that I thought that was the equivalent of, we're building a wall. And sure enough, it happened earlier than I thought it was, but sure enough, he's fucking giving everybody what, $1,200, $1,000 or whatever.
I know.
Weeks.
Literally a couple months later, after he's like, oh, BT dubs. And that was such a crazy thought too. Everyone was like, oh, $1,000. And now they're like, hey, here's $1,000.
And he's gonna slang that angle hard too during the debates. You know damn well he's gonna be like, all these guys are making all these promises. Who's the guy who put $1,000 in your pocket when you were out of a job?
He better drop that line.
This is Jane, everyone.
Where's everybody?
Oh,
Jane, the one the stories are about.
One of them.
How you doing, Jane? You want to say something to the people?
She said, you want to say something?
No.
She just wants to watch.
You just want to watch? All right, you can come watch. She just wants to get her voyeur on.
She just wants to see if she can pick up any members only fans.
Why you got a squad jack like that for, Jane?
Joking. She's too good for that.
Did you tell her about the foot idea though? There's nothing shameful about posting feet for money, dog.
He said there's nothing shameful about posting feet for money. If you could only see the look.
Keith, you better watch your fucking mouth.
All right.
He goes, all right.
My bad.
All right, man. She came in to lasso me out of here, I think.
Yeah, we can call it. You've been on here for a hot minute.
Yeah, it was good chats. I'm glad. I like that people are engaging in the chat. That always makes it fun.
They usually do, man. They usually do. The lives are super fun.
Yeah, it's way better than like, is this fun when people rant about stuff, but it gets, after like 15 minutes of it.
That's kind of what I do. I like when I feel I'm rambling, I'll look to the comment section and think, is there something more interesting in there than what I'm saying? That the answer is yes. I'm like, yo, this person's dropping some shit on us.
Yeah, you used to make it more interactive, because I know when I listen to podcasts and shit, a lot of times I'll be talking back to them.
I know, dude. I know.
So it's like being able to like saying that shit out loud, and then you're actually heard and responded to is dope.
I forgot your. Damn, you got 238,000 hits on Spotify on that song.
Oh yeah, yeah. It started taking off recently.
Damn. And 251 on a King's Reserve.
Oh yeah, we pushed them pretty hard. We pushed songs pretty hard last year. We're about to go even harder. I got a song coming out on Thursday called "Drowning in
Nice.
the Shallows."
You should be plugging right now.
Shit's gonna be next level.
I wish there was a fucking way where we could all listen to a song at the same time, like how they're syncing Netflix, but with music.
You can live stream. You can live stream, like you could sync your sound. So what you're playing on your Spotify is just playing through YouTube versus like through your microphone into YouTube. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's you got to download. It's like Soundflower or something like that. It's a it's a software sound card that essentially just redirects uh your audio signal chain. So
Yeah.
rather than everything coming out of your speakers, it'll just go like it catches it before it goes to your speakers, and then it sends it to wherever you want to send it to.
So they'll hear the song through their speakers crispy,
You'll
not.
hear exactly what you're hearing. Like
Oh,
the
nice.
exact Spotify thing. Like if you go, I know on Twitch they got it dialed, and you go because there's mad artists like producers and stuff. Like I was just watching Medicine's Twitch live stream, and literally, and there's no lag either. Like as soon as you hear him hit the space bar, the fucking beat comes in. It comes in hot.
And
So
crispy.
it's crispy clean. It's dope.
Nice.
But
Well,
I feel
I
like,
gotta write that down. That's a game changer, dude, because music is a game changer.
yeah, I'm sure there's a way to do it.
What would I type? What would I type into Google to find that?
Well, one search Soundflower.
Sunflower.
Yeah, Soundflower is like a sound card, and then maybe um how to stream music on through YouTube Live.
Interesting.
I'm sure there's a way.
I got that written in there. I'll find it.
Yeah, you just search if just figure out the right keywords and you can find out how to do it. I'm sure it's because I don't know how the YouTube live stream works, but I'm sure there's a way, like with that Soundflower thing, it reroutes your audio because you can do. I know how to do it through that OBS.
Oh yeah, I know how to use OBS. I normally use OBS, but
That's
Zoom is just more convenient.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. I don't know how good the quality is on the Zoom thing, but I know OBS quality, the video quality is good. But and also on OBS, you can have like multiple audio inputs. So you just like one is your mic, another as the Soundflower card. So that way you could be talking and they hear what you're bumping at the same time.
All right, maybe I'll do that. Zoom's pretty nice too. I don't know if you noticed, but I set it to automatically touch up our faces when we talk. So there's a straight up filter on our face right now.
Yeah,
I definitely don't look this crispy in real life for sure.
You crispy as fuck. Nacho chip. I'm about to post my if anybody wants to check out the song that's coming out on Friday or Thursday. I just posted the link in the chat.
There you go.
Pre-save it.
Did you though?
I think I just did.
Am I not getting fucking chats or what?
I'll try it again. Yeah, so so I'll give you guys an exclusive tip because I thought about doing this for Instagram, but I thought about it too late. But anybody who pre-saves it, you want to check out the music video before it comes out because the music video isn't going to drop for like a week or two.
Oh, nice.
You want to check out the music video before it drops, hit me up on the gram, hit me up wherever you want to hit me up, and just show me that you pre-saved it, and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, you guys gotta check out his music. It's pretty fucking dope. It's funny because some of your favorite tracks aren't even Oh, you're good. What do you want?
See if you ripped it.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
No, you're fine. We're almost done right now.
You got a Discord?
Yeah.
Post that shit in the post that link that is posted. Somebody
Okay. Mr. Agent Smith, you want to hit? I don't see the link, dude.
Yeah, are you in the live chat or are you in the top chat?
I'm on the top chat again. How the fuck did I get to the top chat? No, I'm in live chat. I still don't see it. Your post. The last thing I got is Agent Smith. No, I got Salavi saying to put it in the Discord.
Am I not allowed to put in links then, maybe?
Are you guys getting his links? What? Maybe you're not. Maybe you fucking.
No.
Here, give me your link. Send it, or just talk to me. Or is it a crazy ass fucking HTML code?
I'll message it to you. Yeah, man, we did a wild ass video. It's super dope. I was in a pool, like a fucking 40-degree pool for like a good 4 or 5 hours. Getting the shots, shit was nuts. I was so cold that I couldn't even speak the words that I was thinking out loud, like thinking to respond to the people that were with me. It was nuts. Like my body was just like, nah, like talking is not a priority right now.
My bad. I'm spacing out on you. I'm trying to send your link to the squad right now. This song's a banger, dude. I haven't listened to Stardust since like the day you released it.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, and I'm hearing it again, and it's nice as fuck.
Somehow the Spotify algorithm was just like, oh, let's test this song out again, and it started popping off.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I just posted. So tell me what this post is again. What did I just?
Oh, this is pre-save link for the song when it comes out on Friday. So to just like you get it immediately. I think you might even get it before everybody else. And it's just a pre-save link. You just like if you have Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal or whatever, you just like you get to save it. You get access before everybody else. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
So you don't forget. It's like one of those things, you know, like you wanted to hear something or you wanted to check something out.
Hey,
you like watch later.
Nice. This is fun. Stardust is definitely Stardust, dude.
Oh yeah. It's a banger.
I know the quality is not going to come through very well, you guys. But this is Choice's music right now. Oh, it's the outro. Weak. I was like, oh, this is going to lead into something. This is going to be the perfect spot to pull it down. But fuck it. You guys are just going to have to listen to it. Go check out his stuff. That's dope, though. It's like a sort of, how would I describe this? Like, it's almost like if you were to take Star Wars and blend it into a jam that wasn't corny or tacky at all, it would be this. Like they would be jamming this at the fucking down the street. What's that bar? That super famous bar from Star Wars? It's at Disneyland.
I forget, but I know what you're talking about.
Fuck. It's like if that song, when the movie ended and the jams kept playing that night, this song would come on at some point in the night.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
When shit is peaking.
The lyrics are good too. All right. Well, anything else you want to say with this? Want to link people? I know I feel bad, dude. My bad. I didn't talk about your music too much until the end.
All good.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not really one to like force feed people my shit.
No.
It's just like, yeah, like, yo, this is who I am. And by the way, you know, and then at the end of it, it's like, yeah, I make music. And if people are interested in me, then they'll definitely be interested in me.
Sure.
They'll definitely fuck with me.
We called that the fucking Piccolo effect. Remember the Piccolo effect?
No.
Remember, you sort of downplay yourself, and then you go all out. You get the haircut, you shave up, put your Sunday suit on, and just hit him with the Piccolo effect.
Yeah, I remember that. Damn, throwback.
But all right. Well, fucking thanks for coming on,
Yeah, man,
Mango.
it's
Thanks to everyone. Oh, the Cantina. Is that what it was called? The Cantina? Damn. There you go. There you have it, you guys. It's this song is playing in the Cantina on Star Wars right now. Anyone still in here? El Jaya, thanks for chilling. Salavi, Pandora, Bianca. I don't know if you're still here, but always appreciate when you swing through. Got us a cats. All y'all, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. You could be watching any other coronavirus update, but you're here chilling with the squad, hanging with letters and whatnot.
Talking about sex magic.
Talking about sex magic.
Fucking
Talking about
that right there.
Hawkins scale and the ridiculousness of having a linear fucking scale to like an infinite existence. Still not happy with it. If you want to see the beginning of it, you can see the beginning. Dub got us a cat. Says she's gonna check you out. Yeah, and spread it to the squad too, because that's what we do when we hear things we like. We share it with the squad.
Hell yeah. And feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions or are infuriated with something I said, inspired by something I said, or you want to chat. I'm always down to have conversations, and I'm bored as fuck right now.
I know, dude. We might just have to get you on the channel later this week, just if I can.
That's what I was about to say. I don't know what's been like 2-3 hours, and this is us rusty.
I know, man.
It's been like 2 years.
Wait, hold on just a second. You guys are listening to Choice right now. Actually, this is what we're playing in the background. This is the homies' music. I actually posted these lyrics on my Instagram. I don't know, a couple people hit me back up too, dude. That's one of this song.
Oh really?
I posted some of the intro lyrics that were real nice, and everyone responded back like "fuck yes." Like someone was like, "Who's this?" Like, "Yo, what's up?"
Hey.
Yeah. So. Damn.
Yeah, bro, it's all about those quotable lyrics.
It is, dude. Especially with like electronic music, because you have so much control over like where you're directing the attention and energy of the song. To just slam them with a one-liner at the most epic part of the song is like, oh.
Yeah, man, having complete control over all like just being the producer, songwriter, singer, everything. It's a gift and a curse because you get to just every little nuance you have control over, but at the same time, you also get subject to that fucking analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Too many possibilities. You don't know which one to pick, so you don't pick any. That kind of thing.
That's that fear you were talking about. That fear of imperfection, we'll call it.
Yeah, exactly. That's when fear is a bad thing.
All right, nice. We got Agent Smith following you on Spotify. Dope.
Yeah. And I'll join the Discords and stuff too, and we get weird.
Oh yeah, post all your stuff in there too for sure.
All right, guys.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hang up on you at the same time, Miles, but peace out, everybody else.
All right, later, guys.
All right, you still there? Nope. End meeting.